welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin, and this is a custom video for James. All right, so he's got a three-piece collection. What we're gonna do, because he's written quite a bit about each watch, is we're gonna divide it up into 3 videos and check out the thumbnails, and that's the watch we're gonna be talking about. All right, so he writes, Austin, really love your appreciation for the 5-digit Rolex models. You got me into 5-digit GMTs and Rolex service pouches. Just sent you a PayPal. Please don't use my full name. Use James or James from the USA. All right, James from the USA. Looking to add a 16710. That's a GMT Master 2. Black bezel, holes case, solid in-link bracelet, and need help figuring out if I can get the fat font bezel with the serifs in that configuration. Yes, you can. We'll talk about that in a minute. I watched your GMT videos and you identified a sweet spot in the late A serial to Y serial range, and you're absolutely right. A late A serial or a P serial or the early Y serials, and I think the K serials as well. I think the Ks came right before the Ys, if I can remember correctly. But, so I think, yeah, that's the range you're looking for. Late A, P, K, and early Y. And that's going to give you a Swiss-made dial, solid in-link bracelet, and the holes case. And I think that is the sweet spot. And I know the A serials and the P serials have the fat font serifed bezel. I know that for sure because mine do. Pretty sure the Ks do and the early Ys. I think they started using the thin sans serif font towards the end of the Y serial when they started making the no holes cases. All right, so there you go. Another question for you, how do you find the accuracy of your A and P serial GMTs? My D serial 2005 root beer, which is what we're going to be talking about today, runs amazingly at a consistent 0 to 1 or 2 seconds per day. I'm OCD about accuracy and wondering how going from a D serial to something older holds up. Not going to be a problem. You've got the 3185 movement in your D serial, and you know you could get an early tritium 1990 E serial, and it's going to run just as well. It's got that same movement, so that's not going to be an issue at all. Accuracy is a big deal for me. Mine run plus, I'd say 0.5 seconds a day, both the A and the P serial. And just a word of advice for anybody having their watches serviced at RSC, let them know that you're into accurate watches, okay? Don't have it serviced, check it, and then go back. Just say, I'm looking for this kind of accuracy. I'm looking for it to run a little bit fast, plus, you know, a quarter second a day. If you guys can do that, that would be great. And so then they know you're kind of that customer. And I've done that and it's worked out. And I haven't done that and I've gotten a watch that was +4 a day, and then I had to go back and broach the subject. And so just be really honest and upfront about what kind of person you are and what kind of accuracy you're hoping to get. And it shouldn't be a problem. All right. So let's talk about the first watch in his collection, the D serial that he just mentioned. Rolex 16713 serial as a D serial, GMT Master 2 root beer, the one that almost got away. And he's got an interesting little story about how he came to get this watch. He purchased it September of 2019, solid in-link, no holes case with gold through the clasp. So that would be a solid in-link bracelet, which he just said, right? And it's a D serial, so D serial would be 2005, 2006, all right? And he says, fell in love with the ugly duckling of the GMT range and decided to pick up one because they aren't as common as the others. I found the watch on eBay from a local auction company and had an opportunity to view it in person. I ultimately lost out on the eBay auction by 300 USD. 2 weeks later, I see the same exact watch listed on Watch Recon from a dealer in Texas for 1,200 USD more. So that's interesting. This dealer bought from eBay and then immediately put it on Watch Recon, hoping to make, well, 1,200 USD. I called the dealer and confirmed it was the same watch, the same serial number, etc., and negotiated a price a little bit more than the eBay bid. The dealer said they bought it from a local client. It's in great running condition, thick lugs, but had a gouge on the top left lug at 11 o'clock that I had laser welded and refinished at Roleworks, as well as a full service replacement of a chipped crystal with a genuine Rolex crystal with period correct laser etched coronet and a new root beer bezel. So we had the bezel changed as well. Now, looking at this watch, it's got the sans serif thin font bezel insert, and that's as it should. So, you know, we're at a period where if you have a late Y serial or later 16710 and you have your bezel insert changed out and you get your replacement bezel, you're not going to know the difference, okay, unless there's some secret way that Rolex can tell, some little thing that I haven't figured out yet. But yeah, so that wasn't a big deal. If this was a pre-2002 GMT, that would have been a mistake. And just on a side note, I remember having my A serial back. I was still green, serviced, and it came back, and I noticed it looked like somebody had sort of pushed their fingernail in the bezel insert, and you could barely see it. I mean, I could give you that watch for a good minute. I don't know if you could find it, but I found it, and I don't remember doing it. And I remember thinking, did Rolex do that? You know, because I had some issues with the bezel insert alignment that I've made a video about. I had to go back a couple times, and I thought, did that happen while they were pulling it on and off? And I remember contemplating, thinking I could probably go back, broach this subject, and get, a replacement bezel for free. I could not claim it was them, but say, I don't remember this mark being on there. I don't know if you guys did it, but I'm not happy about it. They might have given me a replacement insert. I would have lost my fat font serifed insert. It would have been the biggest mistake of my life, aside from replacing the insert in my 14060, all right, which I did. I was green when I did that too. So that was close. Yeah. I mean, that's, yeah, okay, I shudder to think about it, but I actually contemplated it. And I didn't know the difference between the bezel inserts at the time. I thought, well, nobody will know. They would. I would have gotten the sans serif thin font bezel insert. So glad I didn't do that. And yeah, you're fine as far as that goes. All right, let's continue, and then we'll talk about everything that he did to the watch and whatnot. All right, so he says, since I'm working from home, I wear it the most. I found it doesn't go as well with business attire, and I'm self-conscious wearing a blingy two-tone gold bracelet at work. I recently put on a cheap rubber strap and Erica's original paracord strap, and I'm currently waiting for delivery of a Horus tan-colored rubber strap to give it another look. He's talking about straps. I have no idea what any of these are. So far, I love it on the rubber. The colors the dial makes in different light is amazing. I know you love the oyster steel bracelet, but I think the two-tone bracelet combined with the brown and gold is almost too much for this watch on an everyday basis. Swapping out to rubber or leather really dresses it down in a good way. And this is one of the few two-tones that I really like, along with the bluesy, the Submariner bluesy. But I echo what James is saying. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't want to wear it to work. It's too blingy. It's too gold. It's too much. It just doesn't project what I want to project. And I was thinking about getting a bluesy at some point, but I remember thinking, okay, when am I going to wear this? And, I would sort of live my daily life and think, if I had the bluesy, would I be wearing it right now? How would I feel about wearing it right now? Would I want to take it into this situation, this situation? I couldn't think of a single situation where I would have wanted to wear it, except maybe home. It would have been like my home watch, which is crazy. So it doesn't sound like James is really keen on the blingy aspect of this watch. I'm not, but that said, the bluesy and the GMT root beer are really cool watches, and I love both of them. They're just not me, but I really respect them. Now, as far as the work you had done, I probably wouldn't have done that. And I'm not a fan of the idea of laser welding or getting Rolly Works, as good as they may be, to do work on a watch that RSC could have handled fantastically, right? Because there's a lot of reasons why you might want to go RSC versus a third party. The paperwork, okay, the paperwork right there, and I think it holds a little bit more value having RSC paperwork. Now, what would I have done as far as that gouge goes? Would I have them try and polish it out? Probably not. Okay, if this was an unpolished piece, I probably would have just left it, okay? And I would have tried to come to grips with that gash. Now, what if I just couldn't? What if it was just so big that I just couldn't get over it? Here's what I would do. I would take it to RSC and I would pay $2,000 USD to have a replacement case. Now, that could seriously affect the value of the watch, and it's going to have a 7-digit serial number. I think it starts with like a 4, and it's like a 4 million something, and that kind of indicates that it's a replacement case, and it would be expensive, but you would have a perfectly mint, unpolished case, and I would prefer that to the laser welding. And you can find out if watches have been laser welding. There's a certain sort of x-ray that you can do, and I don't think most people are going to do it or even think about it, but it can be known. Now, let me just say that I'm pretending that this is my watch and it's going to be my watch and I'm going to keep it, okay? Now, if you're like a dealer or a flipper, then an unethical practice might be to have it laser welded, flip it, not mention it. I think it's probably a good idea to mention it, but the second you do, well, if you're trying to sell it to me, you're going to lose me as a customer. So, look, our watch is laser welded, sold, and that little laser welding practice is not mentioned probably nearly all the time, okay? Because, it's sort of a don't ask, don't tell policy. I mean, if you don't think about asking, I don't think a dealer is going to say, oh, by the way, just so you know, if you ever have this x-rayed in the future, it was laser welded at one point. I mean, this is just not going to come up. It's like, yeah, so that's not what I would have done, all right? But if you're happy with it, that's cool, and I'm sure it looks great, and I've seen the work that Rolly Works does, and it is beautiful. It just would bother me looking down and thinking, it is what it is, not because of what RSC did or what Rolex did or because it's non-polished. I would know its history. That would bother me. So I would have been more inclined to just outright buy another case. But again, I probably wouldn't have done that. I probably would have just gotten over the gash and just thought in the future I might get another case for it. But when you have a watch with problems and a few dings and gashes, let me tell you, it actually is kind of nice because it makes the watch so wearable, and my GMT is they're pretty minty and unpolished. I don't get a lot of fun out of them. But my Explorer 2, that's got like a bad third-party polish. Man, I have so much fun with that watch. I don't worry about it. I don't think about it. And I've thought about in the future, possibly getting a replacement case for it. I don't want to spend the money on it. And plus, those marks have actually, that I've added to it, I've started kind of to become attached to those as well. But, I don't really worry at all about that watch, and I worry about losing it. I worry about it getting stolen. But as far as wear and dings, man, come on, I don't mind. So there you go. Now, I think this is a beautiful watch you have, and I agree with you that the brown and the gold work really well together. What I don't think works well is the straps that you're putting on them on this watch, and you've got some rubber straps, and I just don't think it goes well together. But that's a personal opinion, and I hope that you're not using these straps to sort of save your bracelet, although there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, now I can see saying, okay, I want to sort of dress this watch down and also kind of save the bracelet, keep it as minty as possible. So go aftermarket bracelet. Now, what I would do is I would do a strap, and I would do a leather strap, because I think that looks great. I think the leather with the brown, I think that could look very classy if you got the right leather strap for it. That's what I would do. But these sort of NATO and what are these paracord and I don't think it goes with the watch. It looks it's sort of a modern cheap bracelet on what's a very vintagey looking watch. I mean, this is a real retro looking watch, and so I think classic real leather would be the best for this watch, and so that's what I would invest in. And if you really want to take it to the next level, you could invest in a Jubilee bracelet, and I'm talking about the two-tone Jubilee bracelet. Now, if you're talking a Jubilee bracelet for a 16710 all steel, that's about $1,500 USD. So if you're talking a two-tone Jubilee bracelet for your GMT, my guess is about $4,000 USD. I'm just pulling that out of thin air, but I don't think it would just be double the price. I think it would be double the price and then some. Okay, and that's really expensive, but there's something really magical about a GMT on a Jubilee bracelet, and particularly the root beer GMT on, the two-tone Jubilee bracelet. That's beautiful, and it can mix things up a little bit, So I think that would be something I would consider. Knowing me, I would probably do it. Because it's not like you're going to lose money on that bracelet, because if you do sell this watch in the future, then, that really is going to command a higher price, having both those bracelets, and I would want to get it while I can. Is Rolex going to stop making those in the future? Maybe at some point, but yeah, I'm always afraid that they're going to say like, yeah, we kind of ran out, we're just not going to make any more. And that's why I was like in a panic to get all my 16710 inserts. I still need to get one more for the A serial, a Coke, but yeah. All right, well, this is a thumbs up. I don't think you're a two-tone guy, but I think this is sort of the two-tone watch for even non-two-tone guys. But I hear you. It's a lot of bling. It would be too much for me. While I love and respect the watch, it would have no place other than wearing it at home. And it might be the case with you as well. But it's a pretty collectible watch, and I would say definitely a thumbs up in your three-piece collection. All right, thanks for watching. Take care. Let me know what you think of James's beautiful GMT root beer, and stay tuned for the next video when we check out his second piece in his three-piece collection. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.